shouldn't have a political wing, you know. I'm political in my private life, like everyone, you know. Like, I'm sometimes incensed by the inequalities in our society. We're in the 7th richest economy in the world, right? And there's homelessness. There's 250,000 homeless people in Britain. Now, I wish there were no homeless people, because they're fucking horrible, aren't they? You know, oh yeah, right next to the fucking cash point, you cheeky cunt. It is a serious problem, and I hope none of you ever find yourself homeless. But if you do, my advice is heroin. Cheers you right up, apparently. I've got one of those mates. My mate said this to me in all seriousness. He said, yeah, he said, but the thing about heroin, Rick, he said, some of the greatest albums of all time were created on heroin, weren't they? I went, yeah, but they were created by some of the greatest artists of all time, weren't they? You're a plasterer, right? If I were to give you heroin, you wouldn't come up with Dark Side of the Moon, would you? You'd fall asleep watching the telly and burn the fucking house down. I should do topical stuff, but I never watch the news. I did see one thing recently on YouTube, actually. Do you know the little fella from Game of Thrones? The actor, Peter Dinklage. Do you know Peter Dinklage? Yeah. He was at a junket, and it was for a new thing he was doing, right? And they were filming it. That's why it got leaked onto YouTube. And I don't know what brought it up, but he suddenly started going off on one. Someone, oh, God. He was going, it's fucking disgusting. They're still doing productions of Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. For Christ's sake, it's fucking demeaning. It's 2023. He wasn't happy. He was grumpy, wasn't he? He's got a point now, hasn't he? Obviously, he's got a point. But the thing is, it's all right for him, because he's a multi-millionaire Hollywood actor, and he's a great actor as well. He does Shakespeare and everything. A lot of dwarves in entertainment aren't that great. And so, dancing around Snow White for 3 weeks of the year, that is their, like, holy grail, and he's going to fuck it for them. If he takes that, what can they do? And he's not saying you should do Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs with normal-size actors. You can't do that either. You get in trouble for that in Hollywood, or you can't take a dwarf's job or a disabled person's job. Like, Eddie Redmayne got in trouble when he played Stephen Hawking in the biopic, The Life Story of Stephen Hawking, right? Won an Oscar for it, and that's when the backlash started. People going, no, it should be played by a real disabled creature, all this... Right? And they're going, the actor should have the same disability as the person they're portraying. But it was the life story of Stephen Hawking, right? So for the first part of the film, the cunt could walk, right? So I put it to you, what is easier? Getting an actor who can walk, pretend he can't for the last bit of the film, or get an actor who can't walk, pretend he can for the first bit. How would that even fucking work? Puppetry, think. You can't always find an actor with the same disability as the person they're portraying. They're fucking actors. What if they did a biopic of Helen Keller, the deaf, dumb and blind girl? Well, what's the chances of finding a deaf, dumb and blind actress who can play that role? And if you did, you go right into the director and go, we found a deaf, dumb and blind girl. What did she say? She didn't even answer the fucking phone. Oh, don't get me started. Oh. Cultural appropriation. I mean, they've been trying to cancel me for about 15 years, and they've always failed. And often the people trying to cancel me have been other comedians writing for the posh papers, doing that thing they always say, he's punching down. Well, comedy should punch up. We only punch up. We punch up. Their idea of punching up, they have a go at Boris Johnson. How the fuck is that punching up? You know, the cunt is learning disabled. He's like this fucking waterlogged Gary Busey, fucking albino Eggman thing. He can't string a sentence together. Have you heard him talk? He's like, he's a fucking moron. I punch up. I have a go at people like, I don't know, Stephen Hawking, right? Yes, the greatest brain that's ever lived. He can take it. And he wouldn't even have minded when he was alive, because he's part robot, isn't he? I think he's basically a talking chair, so you can say what you want. And he was on Epstein's island, apparently, so fuck him. I don't... What was he doing there? Why do I want to go? Why? You're not just there doing fuck. I would go, what? I know pedos who'd kill for a ticket to that. And he's just taking up a space. It's probably DEI or something. And they go, we need one. Like, I'll go, what are you doing here, Steve? He go, I'm thinking weird shit. Fuck off. That is probably a hate crime. That is. It's a big buzzword at the moment. Because I was reading about the tough time dwarves have had through history. Like, in medieval times, they used to torture them and kill them. They used to put them in barrels with spikes and roll them down the hill for a laugh, right? And then in Victorian times, they'd stick them in the circus and make them do dangerous fucking things. And then as late as the 1980s, right, I remember colleges used to have events like dwarf throwing, where they were like darts on a thing, or dwarf bowling. And eventually someone said, what the fuck are we doing? Can we stop making dwarves do shit for our entertainment? And it stopped. And now it's back. Now they're in the Special Olympics. Now they've got, they're going, let's race them. And, let's throw them in the water and see if they can swim. They can. So, it needs a bit of work, that one, doesn't it? I don't know. People don't realise how much goes into one of these tours. My last tour, I did 60 new material nights. Then I did like 25 work-in-progress shows. Then I did an 85-day arena tour around the world, honing it all the time. One critic sat at his kitchen table, said, lazy. He called me immature and vulgar. Four-eyed cunt. I'm at that age now where everything annoys me. I get about the Golden Globes. Is always, was someone so angry about what you said about them? They came up to you afterwards, and I always go, oh God, no. I wouldn't even say if that had happened, because I don't like gossip, to be honest, right? There was one guy I thought took it the wrong way, right? It wasn't a bad, the cameras went to him, and I'm not in control of the cameras, so I think he was caught in the headlights. It was Elton John, right? But it wasn't a bad joke. I was introducing Madonna, okay? And I later found out that him and Madonna were in this feud, and he hated being mentioned in the same sentence as it. But I didn't know at the time. I was confused, right? And it wasn't part of the monologue, but I'm there for like 3 hours, right? And now and again, the stage manager put a head around the door and go, do you want to introduce so-and-so? And I go, yeah, fine. And I come out and I either do it straight or I ad-lib. And this was little ad-lib because I saw Elton in the front row, right? So this was a joke. I came out and I said, our next presenter is the Queen of Pop. Not you, Elton. Sit down, right? And he sort of went to him, he sort of went, and I was like, oh, fuck, he hated that. And I was thinking, why is he, I said, oh, God, do you think I'm homophobic? Oh, I'm not homophobic. There's always in my head. Then I thought, he must have heard worse, right? In the 1980s, right, when Elton John was in the closet, he wasn't out, he was married to a woman, right? He was also chairman of Watford Football Club. And he and his then wife would go along and watch Watford play, and the entire crowd would sing, don't bend down when Elton's around or you might get a willy up your arse. Which puts my little quip into perspective, doesn't it? I don't know how football fans know how to start at the right time in the same key. Do they hand out sheet music before a fucking... We're doing Willy up the arse in C. Jeff's doing a solo. They get a traditional tune so everyone knows it, and they change the lyrics. Some genius changes the lyrics, right, to be as offensive about someone or something or somewhere or whatever, right? So the tune they used to use, I remember it, it was that old Cockney knees-up song. My old man said, follow the van and don't dilly-dally on the way. Do you know that one? Remember the term dilly-dally? They use it very creatively in their version, right? So this was their lyric. It was the 80s. It's not politically correct. I apologise. But they're football hooligans. What are you going to do, right? So let's analyse their genius lyrics, right? This is what they used to sing. Don't bend down when Elton's around or you might get a willy up your arse. I mean, you might. Not necessarily his, but, you know, like mathematicians amongst you would have to go, yeah, there's a slight... Like, if 1,000 people bent down when Elton was around, one of them might randomly... Someone might come off a bicycle and go, sorry, like that, and they go, oh, fuck, and the scientists will go, one. Do you know what I mean? There's a slight... Also, when Elton's around, that's ambiguous. That could fit, like, you could have two gentlemen having anal sex in a hotel room, right? And then the next day they find out that Elton John was staying in the next room. They go, oh, I got a willy up the arse when Elton was around, you know? I'll give them that, anyway. Don't bend down when Elton's around, or you might get a willy up your arse. He has the nerve to call us dear. We all know he's a fucking quill. Sorry, right? And he goes, he dallies and dillies. They've reversed it. Why? He dallies and dillies. He plays with people's willies. Again, I don't know what play with means in this context. It could be like, wow. It could be anything, couldn't it? Wow. I thought you were going to suck it. No. He dallies and dillies. He plays with people's willies. He's up every arse in town. I'd stop him there. I'd go, no, you know, that is provably false. He's not up every arse in town, is he? We can prove that. Right, take a small town. Take Watford, 120,000 people. He is not up 120,000 arses, is it? I mean, half of them are women, so 60,000 tops, right? And I don't think he's been up 60,000. And if he has, good luck to him, but that's not my point. This is my point, right? What did his then wife think of that? Because he's in the closet, right? He's, you know, and she's just married Elton John the Pop. She couldn't be, she's in love. She's so proud of him. Elton John, and he's chairman of Watford. She goes like, I'm married Elton John the Pop Star. I'm married to Elton John the Pop Star. And then the entire crowd sing, don't bend down when Elton's around or you might get a willy up your arse. She must have gone, why are they singing that out? I've just, I said earlier, I've never had a joke stopped by the Golden Globes, and that is absolutely true. But I've just remembered a joke that I stopped myself because I bottled it a bit. And I think I was being overcautious. I want to share it with you, right? So I got the chance to introduce Jason Momoa. Do you know who Jason Momoa is? Yeah, right? So I thought the meta joke would be to show my hypocrisy and my cowardice. Like, I'm okay to slag off actors. Who's scared of actors? But when it comes to a big dude, right, I'm not so brave. So I was going to go, I've got nothing bad to say about our next presenter because he's got a cock like a baby's arm, right? And I told my mate I was going to do that, and my mate went, do you think people think that's racist? I went, why is it racist? He went, well, because he's a person of colour, and I went, no, but it's nothing to do with that. It's to do with the fact that he's so big that he'd probably have a cock like a baby's arm, right? So I didn't do it, and I had a great follow-up as well. I'll tell you the whole thing. This is the whole thing. This is what I was going to do, right? Right. So I go out and go, I've got nothing bad to say about our next presenter because he's got a cock like a baby's arm. Unlike Peter Dinklage, who's got an arm like a baby's cock. It's great to hear this sort of laughter again, because you probably don't notice it as much as comedians, but we've had a really weird 10 years where we're really second-guessing, going, is that okay? I don't know what they're... People could find anything offensive, but we pushed back and we won, so fuck them. Until the next time. They haven't gone away. I looked up one film on here, Schindler's List. Absolutely real. Schindler's List, doesthedogdie.com. Right. First question, does a dog die? No. Does a cat die? No. Are any animals abused? Someone answers, there is a chicken that's handled roughly, but otherwise unharmed. Now, I love animals more than anyone I know, but if I was Jewish, I'd be slightly offended by this avenue of questioning. Imagine that in real life. Imagine someone says, oh, yeah, my grandparents were murdered by the Nazis. You go, oh, what happened? Oh, they were dragged from their house and sent to the gas chamber. Oh, was a chicken hurt? What? But as I say, it's become, you can ask any question about anything. Someone says, is there child abuse? Is teeth damaged? Is there a hanging? Does someone struggle to breathe? Yeah. Well, yeah, yes. Someone says, does someone fall downstairs? Who's scared of slapstick? It's like... Anyway, so this website was founded in 2010, so it's run about 13 years, right? And the later questions start reflecting the times we live in now, and they get more and more fragile and narcissistic. These questions were asked this year. Check it out, Schindler's List, right? Someone says, are there any fat jokes?